Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again, and welcome to the biggest episode of this series to date. Everything we have done up to this point has led to this moment, from the signings, the trades, to blowing up the team, and then more signings and more trades. It's all come down to this. We are in the conference final against the Chicago Blackhawks, 4 wins away from a Stanley Cup Final appearance. Before we get into what's changed with the team, our current setup, and looking at the Blackhawks themselves, let's get to a couple of your comments. First of all, Jake, hi, how you doing? Chris McGarvey, the series is crazy. I'd call it kind of crazy at this point, for better or worse, some people would say. Audio seems better. I haven't changed anything, really. So, I'm not sure what the audio issues were. I don't know, but I'm glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Can we please stop taking plus minus into consideration? Steez, by the way. Again, as I responded to it with the comment, again, plus minus is one of the very few things we have to go off of. I say that every time I mention plus minus in any series, that in the real NHL, in the real world, hockey in general, not the best stat to go off of. It's really not. But for this game, it's one of the very few things. I'll mention again as well, because Andrew Parrish asked, again, there is a roster editing spectacular coming. For those of you that follow me on Twitch, you'll know I've been live editing a lot of the rosters. We're getting there. We're a couple weeks away at best, but by the time the Seals series is wound down, by the time this series is good to, by the time it's good to call this series over, those rosters will be ready. There'll be a video, there'll be a Word document / spreadsheet, or both, to kind of document every change. So yeah, that'll be happening. Bring back FHM. FHM will be back on the channel relatively soon. That's how I responded to it, and that's still my statement. It will be back soon. And again, does he have a new mic? I can't speak. Is it just me, or does he have a new mic? Again, I didn't change anything, so there's that. Wanted to get to know Guzman, though. Penalty kill and power play percentages. Let's take a look at that before we get into it, because I have changed a couple of things up. Whether or not that proves to be a good decision or not, we're about to find out, of course. But let's take a look at how we have done this postseason with a 18.2% power play and an 83.3% penalty kill. So neither number particularly horrid, but not exactly phenomenal either. That leads me into the line combos for this episode. And if you're not a fan of the mix and match strategy and rewarding players who have been playing well, then you're not going to be a big fan of what this team looks like, unfortunately. But let's take a look. Regardless, top line, starting off this series, our 3 best players in the postseason thus far: Josh Fotinos, Cody Glass, and Marvin Mason. Fotinos with 8 points, 9 for Glass, and of course 7 goals, 2 assists for Marvin Mason. On the second line, Kirill Datsuk gets an amazing opportunity, centered by Victor Goldobin. Nick Suzuki moved over to that right-hand side. The third line, we have Maxim Fedorov, 5 points this postseason, with Russell Clausen, who you would have seen had over 100 points in the regular season. 5 points in 8 games. Not that bad. Of course, he missed some time due to injury. This is perhaps the more controversial one, where I've dropped him instead. But I want to see how some of the others do, and obviously Clausen's the guy that gets bumped up. So he still has power play time, so don't worry about that. We should be okay. Actually, he might not even have power play time. That's it's a risky move. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Gregory Roach is the final man on that third line. The fourth line, Dominique Verbata, Elijah Lackey, and Tate Dwyer. Bottom line is, if Lackey and Dwyer don't step up, we're in trouble. Will we have to call upon them to step up? Yes. Is it kind of ridiculous to be like, oh, well, you're asking for them to step up, but you're playing them on the fourth line? How are they going to do that with fourth line time? Kirill Datsuk's played most of this postseason on the fourth line, so damn it, there's no excuse. They need to get the job done. The one thing I'm considering, of course, would be swapping out probably Clausen and Goldobin. That's easy enough to do. If Goldobin struggles, easy switch. But for now, I am going to leave it. As a result, the power play is set up. And indeed, Clausen does still have power play time. So We'll see if he's able to make the most of that. The goalie, Andrei Vasilevsky, not a phenomenal save percentage. It's been good enough to get us to this point. But is that enough? I don't think it is. I don't think the conference final is really our aspiration. We want more than that, and this might be our best chance to accomplish more than that before things have to change with the team. Let's look at the Blackhawks, though. Let's not waste any more time, and there's already a familiar face. But we start off with Ashton Schlemko, former number 2 overall pick in 2024, centered by Alex DeBrincat, now an 86 overall, and Logan Boyce, who was the 17th overall selection in 2019. So as far as the top line is concerned, dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Second line, Charlie Vernaski, former first-round pick centered by Nick Schmaltz, the recently traded Nick Schmaltz. For the record, my opinion on the deal, too early to call. I think it's a bit ridiculous to be like, oh my god, Chicago fleeced him. They're going to be relying on Dylan Strome to actually develop, which if I asked you last week, do you think Dylan Strome's going to end up being a number 2 center in this league? You would have said no, and it wasn't down to, oh, well, he's on Arizona if he gets traded, maybe. No, that wouldn't have been your opinion. You're a filthy liar. You would have said no and that he's a bust. But now all of a sudden he gets traded to Chicago, reunited with the DeBrincat apparently, and it's, oh my god, yeah, Strome's going to be great. We'll see. Bottom line is the Coyotes get the best player in the deal. At this point in time, that being Nick Schmaltz. Regardless, Alex Tuch has 8 points in 12 games. Buddy, why could you not do that when you were here? Man, he had a career year. God damn, I wish he played this well for us because I've mentioned it before in real life. Alex Tuch is one of my favorite players. I think he's great. He's the kind of prototypical power forward now where he's big, but he can skate and he has skill. And, yeah, he's probably going to screw us over in the series. Guy Bedin, the Bedouins. I wish it was Bedoin. I wish. I'm calling it Bedoin for this series. That's right. Deal with it. Guy Bedoin. That's right. Good old Guy Bedoin. Centered by Andreas Athanasiou and Remi Elie. The fourth line, Brock McGinn. Don't need to look at his attributes. Or do we? Don't curse me, Brock. Centered by Jamel Smith and Nicholas Nordgren, former third-round selection. The defense is not great, but not bad. Start off with Darryl Black, former fifth-round pick of the Hawks, so a good steal for them. He's with Drew Hewitt, great name, former 8th overall pick back in 2021. Second pairing is Torsten Ragnarsson, another former first-round pick, with Adam Boqvist, who's an 89, by the way. Henry Jokiharju is on that third pairing, Jokiharju, with Connor Murphy, former Portland Pirate Connor Murphy. The goaltender is Samu Rinas. 940 save percentage this postseason. Callum Booth is the backup. No injuries. Yoni Tulola, Matthew Yashin, and Ryan Getzlaff. The healthy scratches. Is this the type of team that we should beat and can beat? Probably. Will we? I don't know. I could see us losing this series. They are well-rounded enough to the point where, hell, we could get swept, for all I know. Unfortunately, or maybe on a positive note, there is only one way for us to find out, so let's get this going, shall we? The Western Conference Final matchup against the Blackhawks begins. It's game 1 on home ice. Can we get off to a good start? First period, and that's a decent start. Now, Alex Tuch does get the opening goal, but from there, we take over. 3 minutes and 50 seconds later, Eric Bronnstrom ties it. A minute or so later, Elijah Lackey gets the goal on the fourth line, and then the first line chips in. It's Josh Fotinos. So we do a good job getting to their lower-rated goalie. 3 goals on 13 shots. Hopefully Vasilevsky continues to, get things under control after allowing the first goal in this game. Second period is scoreless. It's a good thing for us. 23 shots to 20 in our favor as we begin this third period up by 2. Andre, now's where you make your money. Cody Glass, now's where you potentially seal your spot on this team moving forward as Adam Boqvist gets the goal back, but we're still up by 2 as we go over the halfway point. Russell Clausen on the power play. There we go. Contributing. DeBrincat gets it back. 5-3, now 5-4. Oh my God. Vassy, I swear to God. I swear to God, if you blow this for us, Maxim Fedorov, the empty netter. And who the hell saw that coming? A 10-goal game. Unreal. They get the opening goal with Tuck. We strike back with 3. No goals in the second period. And then in the third, Glass, Boqvist, Klassen, DeBrincat, and Schmaltz, 56 seconds apart. And then Maxim Fedorov, with 56 seconds left, ices this game. 6-4 is your final. The offense showed up in a big-time way. Needless to say, though, we are going to need a better performance out of one Andrei Vasilevsky, but I will take that victory. A 3-point night for Bronstrom. Tuck also had a great game. Russell Klassen up there as well. Certainly deserves more ice time, but on the other hand, you could say at the very least he's boosting up that third line. But a solid game all around for a lot of players. Goldobin, Norton, Rositas, Theodore. So really for forwards, it was Goldobin, Datsuk, Marvin Mason. Surprisingly, not with a point in that game. We won that despite Vasilevsky having an .857 save percentage. I can't help but think, even if we win the cup, might not be the worst idea to trade Andrei Vasilevsky. I have been super unimpressed with him. And hey, on the bright side, his motivation, win the cup, and then get traded somewhere where I'm not going to scrutinize you like you deserve to be. Maybe you can go somewhere else where they don't care. But damn it, this is Vegas, and we care. We're desperate to get back to the cup final. Game 2, lineup is staying the same. Let's see how this goes down. Will the offense be able to deliver at the same level? Will Vasilevsky show up? Let's find out. First period, Jesus Christ on Easter Sunday. Forgive me, Lord. Oh my God. A 4-goal first period. 4 goals on 12 shots. 4-1 through the opening 20 minutes. Russell Klassen scores 38 seconds in. Gregory Roach chips in. Tate Dwyer scores. So we chase Arenas within 4 minutes and 7 seconds of this game starting. Ragnarsson gets a goal back to make it 3-1. Fotinos strikes again, 4-1. You want to talk about the key to our success? Crucial players to our success. Klassen, Roach, Dwyer, Fotinos are all in that group. And they delivered in that first period. Second period, and man, 6-2 through 40 minutes. DeBrincat gets them back to within 2, but then it's Dwyer and Klassen again. Say what you want about Russell Klassen deserving more ice time. He is just lighting it up right now, even as the 3C. 6-2, 6 goals on 20 shots. Third period is underway, and barring a brutal collapse as Tate Dwyer gets the hat trick, barring a brutal collapse from Andrei Vasilevsky, we are going to take a 2-0 series lead here, which is huge for us. What an effort from Dwyer, by the way, on the fourth line. Out of nowhere, really throughout this season, as it is going to be a 7-2 final. Throughout the season, it went from, oh my God, Tate Dwyer's the man, to, well, maybe Cody Glass deserves to stay over him. And certainly through this postseason effort thus far, you'd say that's the case. But Dwyer is battling back at a crucial time. 7-2, once again, is your final. The hat trick for Dwyer, 2 goals for Klassen, and a 2-point night for Roach as well. A much better performance from Vasilevsky. This one was never close. We have scored 13 goals through 6 periods of hockey. Craziness. Absolutely crazy. And now the series shifts to Chicago. 4 games, 3 and 4, as Tampa and Washington are split at 1 apiece. But that third line right now, Fedorov, Klassen, and Roach. I know Klassen has power play goals, but he's nearly at a point-a-game level. And then that fourth line, Verbata, Lackey, and Dwyer have been getting it going too. If anything, I feel like it's been the second line that's been a little bit quiet, with Datsuk, Goldobin, and Nick Suzuki. So perhaps changes could be necessary, should be made. They won't be. We're keeping the team together for obvious reasons. If things start to slip up, though, yet again, we do have options in terms of how to set this team up and hopefully in a winning way. But it is game 3. We're here in Chicago. Yet again, Ken Vasilevsky perform at a high level? Can our offense somehow keep up this absolutely absurd pace? There's only one way to find out. First period, and it's 2-0 through the opening 20 minutes. Marvin Mason and Josh Fotino's 2 goals from the top line in just, unbelievably, 58 seconds. That is crazy. 2 goals on 8 shots. Both teams with 8 shots, but we have the 2-0 lead. Rinas so far hasn't been great. I'm sure he still has the ability to turn it on, turn it around, and have myself, see myself cry myself to sleep over the result of this. We'll see. Second period is scoreless. They have the slight edge in shots. We're still up by 2 as we begin this third period. Can Vasilevsky get the job done? Can we take this 3-0 series lead? Power play chance for the Hawks goes to waste as we're over the halfway mark. Another chance for the Blackhawks goes to waste as well. One more power play is done. 3 minutes left. Power play for the Hawks is killed. Andrei Vasilevsky with the 33 save shutout. 2-0 is your final score. The Vegas Golden Knights have a 3-0 series lead and are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Final. Amazingly, maybe not amazingly when you look at this team, but just, again, how things have changed. Ditching the original core and what this has turned into with this super team. And again, 1 win, 4 opportunities to get it done. Are we going to punch our ticket to the Stanley Cup Final right here and right now? No need to make any lineup changes. Let's just go out there, get the W, get the job done, and wait to see who it's going to be between Tampa and Washington. First period of Game 4, and the Hawks might not be done just yet. Alex Tuch is just playing with a vengeance right now. 2 goals for Chicago, both from Tuch. He's putting up one hell of a fight. Again, I wish he had done this when we had him on the team, but what are you going to do? Second period, can we get back into it? No, we cannot. 21 saves for Rinas thus far. We're still down 2-0. 20 minutes left. We're going back home to Vegas regardless, but is there a Game 5 to be played? Or is this comeback going to be completed? Are we going to the final? Russell Clausen gets us on the board. Can we capitalize early? We can't. Chicago on the power play. Schlemko, whoever took that penalty, really screwed us over there, as it's just 8.5 minutes to go, and the Chicago Blackhawks have forced Game 5. There you go. It's over. It is over and done with. Mason scores with 29 seconds left. Too little, too late. 3-2 is your final. The Hawks do outplay us, so we let our foot off the gas. Alex Tuch, hell of an effort from him. The big question is, who is the GOAT for that penalty in the third period? It's Kirill Datsuk. It is Kirill Datsuk. So, not the best performance from him in that effort. We lost a little bit of momentum and just could not recover it. The Hawks are on the board. It's a 3-1 series lead. Tampa also has a 3-1 series lead on Washington. I'm not going to make any changes here yet. We're not going to panic heading into Game 5. If we were to somehow not get the win here, then maybe, alternatives would have to be considered. But let's not think that way. We got this. 60 minutes away from going to the Cup Final. Can we get it done? First period. And we get the opening goal, the lone goal, and it's Kirill Datsuk. With 1 minute left in the period, we had the 11-7 shot advantage and a little bit of revenge for Datsuk. Second period, oh, baby. Gertson gets the first goal from a defenseman in this series, and perhaps throughout the entire postseason. I think that's only our second or third goal from a defenseman in this entire run, and Kirill Datsuk making up for his mistake in Game 4. It's 3-0. We are 20 minutes away from the conference final being secured. Tate Dwyer makes it 4, and unless Vasilevsky turns into a praying mantis or any other small animal or insect, Fotinos makes it 5. The Vegas Golden Knights are finally going back to the conference, or to the Stanley Cup, not even through the conference final. You gotta excuse me. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised this went well, right? This didn't exactly seem to me like the type of thing that was going to go well. This seemed to me like it was going to be the perfect opportunity for shit to go poorly, and that we were going to blow it, and then we had to decide in a negative way who we keep and who stays and who goes to try and get back there. But no, that's not the case. And again, you look at this team, you look at what's happened. Getting rid of the Carlsons and the Marchessaults, Panarin and Yossi and everything that we did, and we finally have found a winning combination, a team that has been good enough, as we get a big save from Vasilevsky, a team that has been good enough to string together at least 12 of the 16 wins needed, as we get another big glove save there from Vasilevsky. 1:27 to go. Nick Schmaltz, 17 points, has had a somewhat quiet series, at least in terms of goal scoring, as Rinas is being pulled for Booth. Interesting. Is Booth just the faster skater to get to the bench? I don't exactly get the point of that, but it's okay. We are just moments away. 1:27 remaining on the clock. Moments away from punching our ticket to the Stanley Cup Final, as Cody Glass turns that one over. Thought he took a penalty as well. Here's Marvin Mason. I think the big thing as well will be line combos. Oh my God, Mason just got decked by Hewitt. Line combos, the amount of mixing and matching that we can do if we get in trouble. I think the easy choice will be for us to keep this, current setup together, as we're going to have a 5-on-3 here, unless that's the same man that took the pen. It's Provorov and Fotinos, couple of give-and-go passes. Here is Provorov, and it will indeed be a 5-on-3 with 52.7 remaining. You can look at the players on this team that have underperformed, and look at the players on this team that have done everything that we've asked them to do, especially, Russell Clausen, given the time that he missed due to injury. This team is good enough. We just need everybody to execute like they have in this series. I mean, hell, you look at Kirill Datsuk, arguably the reason why we couldn't complete the comeback in that last game. Comes back and gets the win. Suzuki, oh my God, what a miss. What a miss. Here's Boqvist. Jamel Smith, 35 seconds remaining. Smith doesn't want to dump it. Finds Murphy. The Hawk is desperate to try and get in the zone, desperate to break the shutout. Murphy loses it on the toe drag. Here's Suzuki. 23 seconds. Nick Suzuki steps in. Shot and a glove save by Booth. 18.8 remaining. As you get a look there, Mason, 9 goals just behind Ovechkin and Kucherov. We know Tampa's still alive. We know Washington is still alive at the moment. And it seems like it will be a Vegas-Tampa final, but there is a chance for the 2018 rematch as Josh Fotinos finds the back of the net. 6-0 for your Golden Knights. The youngster didn't think he'd necessarily be one of the faces of this series with who we already had. Why our crowd's so dead and why he's glitching through the grating, I don't know. But Josh Fotinos has turned into a phenomenal player for us, and he's still under 20 years old. But no kick save there from Booth. The amount of goals, by the way, that we have put up in this series alone is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Suzuki, Fotinos, and Datsuk are still out there. Fotinos actually set up as the center. He gets the win. That's his 9th goal of the postseason, by the way, as Suzuki takes a big hit, gets up slow, but seems to be okay. 5 seconds away. Fotinos to the point. It's Roach. The shot saved by Booth. And there it is. The Vegas Golden Knights, for the first time since 2018, will be returning to the Stanley Cup Final. It took so much, as I'm not even sure who our captain is right there. I think it's Tate Dwyer who's wearing the C again. We're going to vote on the captain heading into next season once, the roster's really established. But for now, it is Tate Dwyer. He holds off. Good call. And there we go. Beautiful sight. We waited far, far too long for this moment, and for it to have finally arrived. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. What an effort from Fotinos. What an effort, by the way, for Andrei Vasilevsky. Had a very good series despite a shaky start. I love how the last thing they show is one of our players getting absolutely decked. How disrespectful. A 3-point night for Datsyuk in response. A shutout for Vasilevsky, 28 save shutout. We outshot them 47-28. We get the job done. We are going to the Cup Final. The big thing, the big question, it's a matter of who we are going up against. Will it be Tampa? At this point, aging members of that core, the Stamkos, the Kucherovs of the world, or can Washington fight back? We're going to find out here in a second, and it is Tampa. No rematch against Washington. Man, go figure. We were just missing Winnipeg in that equation. But we will be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's get the confirmation. We already know it's the case. We have home ice advantage. As I'm kind of surprised it's not showing the regular season records like it normally does, but that's fine. We are in the Stanley Cup Final. We are playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, as far as this team is concerned, it might be for the best just to keep these line combos. But looking here, Josh Fotinos, 9 goals in 17 games, 13 points. You have Cody Glass on 13 points. Marvin Mason on 13 points with 9 goals as well. Kirill Datsyuk, 10 points, 8 goals. 10 points for Victor Goldobin and 12 points for Nick Suzuki. So that second line really picked it up there in those final few games. On the third line, 8 points for Fedorov, 12 points in 13 games for Russell Clausen, and the 9 points for Gregory Roach. 8 points for Dominic Verbata, 8 for Elijah Lackey, and 10 for Tate Dwyer. So really, Lackey and Dwyer turned it on in that series. They had a phenomenal time. And you look there at Russell Clausen, you'd think, all right, well, Lackey and Dwyer, give them more ice time. But man, this is working. This is working. And you got to think, it doesn't work this way, but in a realistic sense, like if you were to view this as, a team tries to get their number one line out there against the other team's, say, third line, or if you try to match fourth line, realistic line matching, what fourth line would ours not beat? What second line would our current fourth line not beat on paper? It's ridiculous, but so we look here. Provorov, no goals, only 6 assists. 2 points from Gertzen. He has 2 of those goals. 1 point for Rositas. 7 for Bronstrom with a goal. 2 points for Theodore. So, yeah, that's it. We have, 3 goals? 3 goals amongst our defensemen. And even guys like Theodore, Bronstrom just not quite performing to the level we need them to. Vasilevsky is still under a 930, but it's been good enough. And I think that's the story thus far. It's been good enough, but there are still players that need to step up because we are going to be in for a rough series against the Lightning. Anything can happen from this point on. Everybody needs to pull their own weight. Everybody needs to be firing on all cylinders. But if you look at what we pulled off against Chicago, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Was it 23 goals, is it? We have 12, 19. Yeah, 23 goals. 23 goals in 5 games. I need to check Arenas' save percentage after that one. He was flying high up until he met the unimaginably hot Vegas Golden Knights offense, because we just absolutely lit him up. Down to a 921. He actually still did okay. He faced a lot of shots, though, and their defense had a rough time. We're done here. For now, the next episode, the biggest one yet, even beyond this one, we'll be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Final. I thank you for watching the video. You know the deal, though. Support the video, support the channel, help me out in all of YouTube's ridiculous algorithms, and help yourself out too, because the more you interact in videos, apparently, along with clicking that stupid bell, the more likely YouTube is to tell you when videos are up. Side note as well, for those of you who have been checking out the GM trade histories, the Battlefield video I had to put out the other day, thank you for that. The Walking Dead as well. For those of you who have been checking out those videos, I do appreciate your ridiculous support. For those of you who are only into the sports gaming content, hey, I understand. It's all good. But I'm just saying, a shout out to those people that support everything I do. God damn it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you then.